Hello and welcome back to the Leinster Listen. I'm your host, Mick Lennan, and this is episode 5, the preview. This is a preview episode of our upcoming game against Leicester Tigers, which is actually round 2 of the European Champions Cup. So the topics we'll discuss today is who's playing in Pool 3. We'll dive into some details of our upcoming game against Leicester Tigers. We'll talk about the team lineups. We'll also go into a little bit about the Larmour Rumour, or the Larmour Rumour if we want to call it. And we'll finish by quickly talking about the women's Six Nations Home Fixtures. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So the European Champions Cup Pool 3 is what we're in. Let's just go through who's actually playing currently in that pool so we can get a familiarisation of what might come. So we've Leicester Tigers obviously against Leinster. That's in Leicester. We'll have Harlequins versus Bayonne. I'll say who I think is going to win each one as well. So let's go back to Leicester Tigers versus Leinster without some spoilers there. Definitely think we'll top that. We'll win against Leicester Tigers, no doubt. Harlequins versus Bayonne. I think Bayonne 100%. Sorry, Harlequins. I think they'll definitely win that game. Then we also have Stormers versus La Rochelle. And I do think Stormers will come out on top, even though La Rochelle came out with a show of force against Leicester last week. Maybe I'll briefly talk about Pool 2, just to reference here. Munster versus Gloucester in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. So very cool that they're playing in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Unfortunately, I do think Gloucester are going to win that one. And that's enough said about that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the details of the game. Kickoff is at 8 p.m. tomorrow, on Friday obviously. The game is actually in Mattioli Woods, Welford Road Stadium. And the referee is Pierre Brousset. He's a French referee. He's pretty good. I haven't really seen much of him, to be honest, so I'll be hoping he's very fair tomorrow. Where can you watch it? Obviously, if you're in the stadium, Mattioli Woods, Welford Road Stadium. But if not, this isn't on any domestic channels here in Ireland, so you'll have to watch it either on Premier Sports, beIN Sports, Super Sport, or Flow Rugby. So yeah, just after this, we'll get into the two lineups. Okay, cool. So let's start off with Leinster lineup. Pretty packed up team there. We did make 7 changes, so Leo Cullen made 7 changes from last week's game against the Harlequins. We'll start off with the backs here. So in 15, we've Jimmy O'Brien. In 14, we've Tommy O'Brien. In 13, we actually have Raiko Ioane starting his first game in blue. So that'll be exciting. Number 12, we've Robbie Henshaw. Out the other wing, then we've James Lowe. Number 10 is Harry Byrne, getting the nod ahead of Sam Prendergast, so it'll be interesting. I think he's definitely hot in the heels of Sam, so it'll be great to see a bit of competition there. So yeah, Harry starting on 10. Jamison Gibson-Park is 9, and then on to the forwards, we've Paddy McCarthy. He's playing alongside Ronan Kelleher and Tyg Furlong. We've Big Joe McCarthy, so Paddy McCarthy's brother, starting there as well. James Ryan, Jack Conan, Josh van der Fleer, and then our captain, Caelan Doris. Our replacements there are Dan Sheehan, Jack Boyle, Tom Clarkson, Diarmuid Mangan, Max Deegan, Luke McGrath, Sam Prendergast, and finally Kieran Frawley. So yeah, look, fantastic lineup there. I was surprised to see the likes of Raiko Ioane starting there, getting the nod getting the nod ahead of the other players we had there for the back line. But look, it's fantastic to see him playing. He played a stormer there against Harlequins and setting up some tries, so great to see. One thing I was also, you probably heard my surprise, I was calling him out, was Harry Byrne at 10. And look, I can only see this as a good thing. A bit of competition, bit of rivalry against the two boys there, getting them out. And if Harry proves himself, you never know, it might be a calling for him to be getting the nod ahead of Sam again going forward. So yeah, look, fantastic to see. Obviously the two McCarthy brothers starting there in the front, fantastic. I love seeing those two play together. I think I called it Big Joe and Little Bro, but I don't know how little you could call Paddy McCarthy. He's a massive man. Yeah, cool. So I suppose, yeah, I'm happy enough with that lineup. I know we had to make a couple of changes. It's good to see Clarkson there and the replacements as well, and Diarmuid Mangan. A couple more caps for those lads. Good to see. So I suppose the Leicester lineup, and unfortunately I don't follow the English league all that much, so a lot of these names I actually wouldn't know, but I will hope to be kind of figuring out the stats on them throughout before tomorrow's game. But yeah, we'll get through it. So 15 there we've Freddie Stewart, 14 we've Adam Radwan, 13 is Will Wand, 12 is Solomon Kata, 11 is Ollie Hassel-Collins. 10 is Billy Searle. 9 is Tom Whiteley. And then in the forwards, we have 1, Nicky Smith. 2, Jamie Blamire. 3, Joe Hayes. 4, Cameron Henderson. 5, Harry Wells. 6, James Thompson. Their captain, number 7, Tommy Raffel. And then number 8, Joaquin Morrow. Joaquin Morrow. Yeah, sorry, butchered that one. The replacements there, so are Finn Theobald-Thomas, Archie van der Fleer, another Van der Fleer, very good. Hopefully he doesn't wear a red scrum cap. We're a bit confused there. It's already hard enough to say Leicester, Leinster, so commentator curse there. 18 is Will Hurd, Tom Mance, Sam Williams, Ollie Allen, Orlando Bailey, and finally Joe Woodward. So yeah, like that, I haven't really followed Leicester all that much. And, you know, if we're even trying to go back to look at previous games, we have to go back as far as 2022 when we played them last. And we beat them 23-14. So not really that much of a gap there. It's also a long time ago. The time before that is 2011. And look, realistically, that's so long ago, we're not even going to discuss that. I suppose a prediction for the game, I do think we'll get our bonus point win out of it, and I do think we'll probably beat them 15 plus. But look, going anywhere we're playing away, they have the home advantage. Their fans will obviously come out for that game. It's a big game, so they'll be loud and it'll be intimidating. And like that, you never really know. I remember talking with the Dragons, and we went over there and they really stuck it to us. But I think this might be a little bit of a different calibre. I think we'll definitely come out on top. So I'm looking at a 15 plus points difference there for us. So I'd say if I had to give an actual prediction, I'd probably go 12-27. And hopefully I didn't give the commentator's curse there, the podcaster's curse. I think I gave to RG Snyman there by saying, oh, it's interesting to see him start, and I hope this will be a good thing. And then he was injured within 13 minutes. So I really hope I haven't just jinxed it completely there. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think I'm happy enough with the lineups there. We have a strong team and great replacements, and it's great to see Raiko Ioane starting. It'll be interesting to see how he plays and how he gets the plays going with the backs there, and hopefully he's been involved in a lot of set plays in the training sessions recently. And yeah, look, very excited, can't wait. So right after this, we'll actually talk a bit about that Larmour Rumour. All right, the Larmour Rumour. So unless you've been living under a rock now for the last few days, you definitely would have seen this rumour that's just come out. And I haven't seen any official channels. I've seen a couple of articles from the tabloid kind of style places. Well, apart from Rugby Pass, that's what they actually made an article on it. But they were kind of referencing that there is rumours, there's murmurs going on. But essentially, if you haven't seen it, there is talks that Larmour will be moving to Connacht in the new year. It's taken me by surprise. I remember when I heard it first, I was like, nah, that's just a Christmas Santy list that Connacht are after putting out, trying to get another winger, and a great winger at that. So yeah, half proven, I suppose, currently. But look, I'd be devastated if it was true. I think Jordan Armour's a fantastic player. He like you saw him last week. He's so good. He got that, got the man of the match. It's just brilliant. He's great to see. And look, unfortunately, he doesn't really get enough time, game time in Leinster, and that is, that's where I could probably see this being half true, and he has to think forward. He wants to make that, the international team. He'll be able to prove himself if he was in Connacht, because he'd have less, he'd have more game time, especially if Hansen keeps getting injured, which is probably, which is another reason why I think maybe it might be true. But yeah, I mean, look, are Connacht worried about Hansen being injured, so they want to get another winger in there? Or maybe they've seen Hansen proving himself at the international level at full back and thinking, well, we can shift him into full back, we need a winger, let's get Jordan Armour. And look, to be fair, Tommy, Jimmy O'Brien and Lowe, they really do take, first preference there when it comes to the wings. So you can understand, and obviously Jimmy O'Brien not playing wing in this game, but he's such a diverse player. He can be anywhere really, and he plays very well at full back. But we have those three players there, and we have a couple of new lads coming up through the academy that are well able to take those wing games. So yeah, look, let me know, do you believe it? We'll have a Spotify poll on that, so tell me, if you think it's true or not. We'll also have a post on our social media, so on Instagram. So do let me know what your thoughts on that. But I really hope it's not true. All right, cool. So finally, I do want to just, the news broke of the women's Six Nations home fixtures, and it's fantastic. It's a great lineup for the home fixtures, and it's lovely that they've actually spread those games throughout Ireland, so they're not all just in the Aviva. And I love that because it really does bring the whole nation together for them. So just to let you know what the home fixtures are, we've Ireland versus Italy. That's Saturday, April 18th, and that's in the Dexcom Stadium in the west there. So that'll be fantastic. The Dexcom Stadium is so cool to go to, and it'd be great to go out and support the women in green. Then we have Ireland versus Wales. That's Saturday, May 9th. That's in the Affidea Stadium in Belfast. Another one in the north. That'd be a cracker of a game. The Ulster fans are fantastic, and we're looking forward to playing them even in the Interpros now coming onto this winter season. So it'd be great to see. But finally, and also it'll be the final game for Ireland, and one of the final games of the Six Nations, the women's Six Nations, is Ireland versus Scotland, and that's Sunday, May 17th, and that's in the Aviva Stadium. So look, I can't wait for it. We do try to go to these games. The women are fantastic. They really put some huge effort in, and I hope we, as a nation, come out and support them. And just to know, I'll be covering those games with a focus on the performance of our Leinster senior women's players. So do tune in around that time as well to hear some of the details in those games. Cool. So that's pretty much it. I won't keep you any longer. Like that, just a refresher on the times. It's 8 p.m. On Premier Sports, beIN Sports, Super Sport, or Flow Rugby. And we're obviously away. That's Leicester versus Leinster. Again, my final prediction, I do think it'd be about 12-27 to us. But yeah, thanks for listening, and hopefully it'll be a fantastic review episode to have when we get our bonus point win for round 2 in the European Champions Cup. Thanks for listening, folks.